Hello, this is Team Shutout with Cameron, and we got first.
Yeah, we did. We got first with Generaids, the new one of the other archetypes that came out of Mystic Fighters, along with Dragon Maids and Mathmech. We played Generaids today.
Yeah. He's getting to take it.
Yeah. Alright, so for monsters, we played one Naglfar. They're all level 9s, and they're all like boss monsters, so you can only control one of each. And his effect is you contribute a Generaid to protect a Generaid card or cards you control from being destroyed by battle or card effect. So he's a 1-up, he's pretty good, he's really big, and if people would destroy your field spell or try and field wipe you, you can just tribute one of your tokens to save it, so he's okay as a 1-up. And then one Divulgus, he tributes a token to special summon a machine or a Generaid from your hand, so he's pretty good for unclogging your hands, but you only really need one of him. Next was 2 Hela, Boss of Doom. She's pretty good. She has a really big booty, so you can wall up with her. And her effect tributes a Generaid to summon a zombie or a Generaid from graveyard. So it lets you get back some of the ones that you may have tributed that turn, or just ones that you need the effects for. So she's good for getting back from the graveyard. 2 Frodi. I wasn't thinking about playing Frodi because I don't like the fact that he lets your opponent draw a billion cards, but we wanted something more to help interrupt my opponent. So he tributes Generaids to pop the same number of monsters your opponent controls, but they draw a card for each one. So he's kind of like Curaz, but he can pop 5 monsters and your opponent draws 5 cards, which is bad, but also good because you need that.
Yeah, we do have the one that banishes.
Yeah. We don't have him yet. 2 Mardell. I don't have a third, and a lot of the profiles I saw were only playing 3 of her, because since they're all really big and level 9s, you don't really want them in your hand. So playing 2, I feel like, is pretty fair so far. And she, on normal or special summon, gets you a Generate spell or trap or a plant monster. So she's pretty good in like the aromas that we might be putting her in. So she's good as a 2 of.
Can't wait to see that.
Yeah, exactly. Then 2 Needhog. Needhog tributes 1 to negate a special summon, but once a turn, and so he's really good for negating special summons, but that's really all he does. He can't stop like spell or traps that would summon monsters like polymerization, but against Madolches he was pretty good because I just tributed 1 to negate Tiramisu and just went on with Marde because Tiramisu is scary. And then for just other supports, you play 3 Lone Fire because, funnily enough, Mardell is a plant, so you can normal summon Lone Fire, get Mardell out, get your searches, start on your merry way.
Good.
Yeah, she's pretty good. And then 3 Ash because Ash is Ash, so that's kind of what you have to do with that. For the spells, 3 of their field spell, boss stage. Some people only play 2. I think 3 is pretty good because you want to see it as quickly as possible. But basically, if your opponent draws a card outside of like damage step, then you get to special summon 1 from your deck. And if you special summon 1 from your deck during your opponent's turn, you get to fill the remaining zones with tokens. So if you special summon 1, you get 4 tokens. If you have 2 already, you get 3 tokens, so things like that. So it just gets you tokens to tribute for their effects, and it gets your bosses right from your deck, which is really good. The summoning of the tokens is once a turn, but the summon from deck is not. So you can like have 1 on field, and then when they draw for turn, you summon 1 and then get the tokens. And then you can also activate another one, and then if they draw again, you get to summon a different one but no tokens, so it's good for getting your bosses out pretty quickly. And then 3 Boss Quests. Boss Quest is insane. It reveals one of your bricky monsters that you don't want in your hand, and then you get to add 2 Generate spells or traps with different names from each other and him, so you can't just add Boss Quests, but you get to add 2 more and put the monster back on the bottom of the deck, so it unclogs your hand by putting the big monsters back in the deck to summon off of your field spell, and it gets you 2 spells or traps, so this card's really, really good. So there's only Generate spells, and then for other supporting spells, we play 3 Monstrosity because they're all level 9, so you can either special summon 1 from hand if you really need to, or special summon 2 from deck. I only actually resolved this only once today. Like, this card's nuts, but I only actually used it once. But summoning 2 from deck and then being able to make VFD and have 1 on field and the field spell, so when you draw, this card's really, really good. 3 Dark World Dealings. Giving your opponents cards is bad, but it's good in this deck. So if you manage to open the field spell and Dark World Dealings, you'll at least get to make some plays by summoning a Mardell from your deck on your turn and then searching and things like that. So this card's pretty good. 3 Extravagance, because you don't really care about the extra deck a whole lot except for VFD. So obviously drawing more cards is good. 3 Called by the Grave, because you don't want your stuff to be negated, and you could interrupt if you don't use it going turn 1. They don't have the hand trap. You can just stop their Orcus plays or whatever else they need.
I have a question. Have you ever had the pot card and Dark World Dealings in the same hand?
Yes. Yes, we have. We use if you have both of those, it depends on the rest of the cards in your hand. If you don't have the field spell, then you'd probably want to use the Extravagance. But if you have the field spell already, then just use the Dark World Dealing so you can trigger its effects and start your engine rolling. So yeah. And then 2 1-ofs, Monster Reborn and Terraforming, to summon back big monsters and search for the field spell. That's really, really important. There aren't a whole lot of traps. There's 1 Generaider Boss room. This says that if your opponent uses a card or effect in response to one of your generate cards or effects, you can discard a card and change the effect of that card to be both players draw a card. So it lets you trigger the field spell. It helps kind of protect some of your monsters. Like if you activate the field spell and use the effect of special summon, but they ash you, you can use this to make the ash both players draw a card and you still get the special summon off your field spell. So just 1 of that. And it's searchable. So
it's like the artifact.
Yeah, it's like Durandal, basically. And then 3 Boss Fight. This lets you activate your field spell from your deck or graveyard, so it's like Metaverse, but a little better, because you can get it back from the graveyard too. And then your opponent draws a card, so you activate the field spell, they draw a card, and then you can instantly use its effect. So that's how you can get 2 of your monsters during your opponent's turn.
I wish that Great Keepers have the one that does deck in.
They do?
They don't. They have one.
Oh, they don't?
Hand and
yeah, command and all that stuff. No, stop. Gravekeepers don't need nice things. And then 3 there can only be 1. I didn't really use this a whole lot, but you can only control each of one of the monsters 1 anyway, because they're all boss monsters, so you can only have 1. So this is pretty good against some of the decks. I never used it or anything, but the main deck's 43, so that could probably be cut down eventually. Extra deck doesn't really matter. Like, I think these 4 cards we just put in just because we needed 4 cards. I don't even play Super Poly, so I don't play Dragons, so these are just literally anything you could want. We just needed the 15 cards for the Extravagance, so this is just bad.
Yeah, the level 3 Super Poly card.
Yeah, no, it's just bad. These cards, 2 Lambdas, kind of okay, because you can just a generic link 2 that points down, so you can start getting your VFDs to zones and help clear up your field if you really need to, so it's okay. 1 of him, he's pretty good because all your monsters are level 9, so you can make him really easily with his effect, and a lot of decks can't deal with him. So I made him once, and it was pretty good. 1 Saryuja, just because I don't know, it could be really anything. And then Bomber Dragon. I put Bomber Dragon in because I thought it was kind of cute. Because, what's it called? It's kind of similar to what Orcus can do, to where he protects all of your things from being blown up by tributing something. So you can you can summon something and then get all your tokens, and then he would try and blow up the field, but you can protect them by tributing one, but your opponent still blows up the field. So I thought it was a cute addition in a deck that doesn't really care about the extra deck, to be able to kind of do what Orcus do and blow up your opponent's field multiple times.
Or you could activate the quick play spell card, like, oh, there goes your field.
It'll be nice. Summon 2 more. Yeah. 2 Jormungandr. He doesn't really do anything either. He's just a rank 9. If I had Enter Blafnir, I'd be playing those, but I don't. But Jormungandr, he gains attack equal to the number of materials under him times 1,000, so he can get really big really fast. And then his detach effect is you detach 1, and both players draw a card, and then put a card underneath him as material. So that triggers your field spell to special summon, and he's kind of like a redoer, to where you get to take cards from your opponent and make him bigger, so you like deny deny them a resource. So he's good.
And just in case you need a bigger monster.
Yes, if you need something really big. I think I managed to get him up to like 5,000 at one point, so he was pretty big. And then the star of the deck is VFD, because they're all level 9s, so being able to VFD your opponent turn 1, and then being able to special summon a Nidhogg from your deck and negate summons and pop cards and make it so they can't use effects is insane. So this card's like really, really, really good. Tokens, obviously for the tokens. We don't have tokens for them yet. Side deck was 3 Nibiru.
So you guys Konami.
Eventually, I mean, we're getting a Nibiru token. Just give us a boss stage token, it'll be fine. Nibiru is Nibiru. I didn't draw it. DD Crow is also just DD Crow. Get rid of Orcus cards. I didn't play Orcus at all, so he didn't really do anything either. Yeah, evenly matched, just like Nibiru. It helps field wipe, so it was good. Mind control is pretty good for taking monsters I can't deal with, like Colossuses, and then I can search and all that fun stuff. So this card's really good. And then I can't deal with back row very well, so Twin Twisters, because the deck doesn't have any inherent way of getting rid of back row. So Twin Twisters is it. Rounds today. Round 1 was against a jank deck. Like he set a monster and set a Speller Trap and passed like 5 turns in a row and used Battle Fader and Marshmallow and all that stuff. So that was a win, I guess. Round 2 was against Heroes, and we ended up getting a draw because we can't get over Malicious Bane. Because Malicious Bane can't be destroyed by battle or card effects, so we can't destroy it with Frody, and we can't attack over it with Jormungandr, so we just couldn't do anything about Malicious Bane. But then we won game 2 in time, I think, because it was a draw. Round 3 was against Thunder, and we actually 2-0'd him. It was pretty fun. We managed to, in game 2, he bricked really hard and normal summoned a Denko Sekka and passed. That was it. He went first, normal summoned Denko Sekka, passed, because he thought that it just stopped you from activating spells or traps, so we had to explain to him that it doesn't do that.
Oh, if you have anti-spell?
Yeah, anti-spell, no, that was an issue, but he just normal summoned passed, so we just did everything in the world, because that was it. So we 2-0'd Thunder Dragon. And then round 4 was against Madolche, and that was kind of tricky because he won game 1, and then we won games 2 and 3. But we just needed to like save the Nidhogg to negate the Tiramisu and save the Frodi to pop the Tiramisu, but essentially never let them get Tiramisu on the field ever. Is how we ended up winning that. But his deck was also kind of a meme. He played 2 Convulsion of Natures at one point, so he was just joking around, and it was just lots of fun with him right now. So
yeah,
we ended up getting first.
Any changes changed in the deck, or it's all good right now?
I mean, I might want to put in Heavy Slump, just because it's kind of a meme card where if your opponent has 8 or more cards, they shuffle their hand into the deck and then draw 2. And since you're giving your opponent so many cards off of things like Frodi and Jormungandr and everything, it might be worth. Boss Fight is also kind of fun because you tribute Generaider you control and then attach Generaider from your graveyard to an Xyz you control as like material. So you could just make a VFD and then just make it have infinite material forever, and your opponent just never does anything. So Boss Fight might be a fun one of. But in the future, the deck's changing because they're getting another boss monster that banishes cards and
that Gizmek at level 9.
Yes, the Gizmek that lets you take your monster and what's it called?
The trade-in.
The trade-in for level 9s. So the deck's going to change come like February, January when we get the next.
Yeah, we will have an update.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. Thank you for watching, like, subscribe, and see you next time. Bye for now.